old, or is you hot? Is you fast, or is you really fast? People over there wanna hate, but we ain't worried about them, cause they is them and we is us. But anyway, we ain't here to talk about that. We here to talk about this music y'all about to hear. Get ready, get set. It's our house.
Yeah. Green light. Hold up.
Okay.
Hey. Man, let me stop playing. Hold up. Welcome, everybody. This is Kam Green to the Green Light Ep.1.
Green Light?
Welcome. So we have this podcast we're going. This is for the culture. I got a few guys with me, man. This is some heavy hitters in the room. We missing one guy, but hey, we going to still get it popping.
Yeah.
We going to still get it popping. So, hey, I'm going to let these guys introduce themselves to y'all.
How you doing? This is your man, Sidney, Odom. I got a YouTube. You can check me out, Sid Said So on YouTube. I'm also an actor here around Houston. Look out for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you know who it is. It's your boy, Levanson Atkinson, a.k.a. The Love Doctor. You know what I'm saying? Motivational speaker, actor, life coach, and soon graduating. You know what I'm saying?
Where you graduated from, young man?
You know what I'm saying? Prairie View A&M University.
Yeah.
Where we produce what?
Productive people.
Texas Southern.
What?
Yeah, what?
Texas
All
Southern.
right, we just gonna get into the topic, y'all. So, peep, y'all, we loving y'all. We loving the energy. This is our very first podcast. We just getting on the road with it, and so we wanted to open up this topic. It's a very important topic that needs to be discussed, and it's over the self-worth of men. I got some facts right here with me right now, and I'm going to read these facts off to y'all. And it's going to be some heavy things. It's going to be something that I think everybody needs to discuss. Everybody needs to come across and just understand and open up eyes. So it's out of this little book, The World Needs a Father. But check this out real quick, y'all.
All right.
So it says,
Preach.
It says men commit 90% of major crimes. Men commit nearly 100% of rapes. Men commit 95% of burglaries. Men commit 91% of offense against the family. Men compromise 94% of drunk drivers. 63% of suicides come from fatherless homes. 70% of juveniles in state-operated institutions comes from fatherless homes. 40% of children do not live with their biological fathers. 85% of all children with behavioral problems come from fatherless homes, and 71% of children who do not finish school come from fatherless homes.
That's rough, man.
Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about what that does. How do y'all feel about that? I know that this is, like I said, this is a heavy topic. This is dealing with self-worth. This is dealing with men in America. This is not targeting just black men, but this is men across the board. And but we can speak from our standpoint as black males in America, being young like we are, college students, college graduating, just all of those things. So we can speak from that aspect. So what do y'all feel about these topics? Who would like to
Man, I could probably roll on first as far as being, not growing up with your biological father in the home, if anything.
Absolutely.
I know most definitely I participated, and sadly, in that statistic right there. Growing up without a father in the home, man, for a long time, I didn't feel like it affected me. I didn't really see it, affect me when I'm going to school and I'm growing up, hanging out with friends and everything. It was always mom in the home. Right. Single mother taking care of me and my brother. It didn't really touch me until I actually got older. That I started realizing, I didn't really have a father figure in the home, as far as guiding me, whether that be with relationships or just the rules of the world and how to be a black man in a 2018 America. I probably had different figures that came into my life, here and there, like I still remember some teachers, maybe from 3rd and 4th grade, that were probably male, who tried to be, a good example in my life, or joining the Boy Scouts, and things along that area. But it's nothing like having a father figure in the home.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? when you're just growing up with your mom, it's a lot of things you can't really talk about with mom. You know, you don't feel like she understands because she's mom. You know what I'm saying? She's not dad. You can't really talk to her about girls. You know, you can't really talk to her about a lot of things that may be going on with school. You know, I know growing up, I dealt with a lot of bullying and everything, such like that. And I didn't always feel like I had someone that I could really go to and talk to and communicate how I'm feeling. You know, just as a guy,
Right.
You know, because mom is gonna walk up to the school.
Yeah.
You know, and she's going to go up there and tell the principal about whoever's picking on you and everything. But I was looking for a lot of helpful advice,
right.
You know, about how to stand up for myself, about how to believe in the person that I am, you know, and be proud of, you know, whoever Sidney was.
Yeah.
You know, that being in elementary, middle school, and high school. So I don't know. It's hard to say necessarily because I did grow up without a father, necessarily what I would be missing.
Right.
But it felt like a void for a good amount of time.
Yeah.
I could say that. Let me pass it on to the love doctor. Let me
recuperate
my thoughts. It's
Yeah.
kinda deep, you know what I'm saying?
That was deep. I like that. But my father and my mother are still together. They've been in my life 100% behind my back. Fully.
God.
Praise God. You know what I'm saying? But I have been around people like my brothers, like plenty of brothers in Christ and all around me in school, middle school, high school. I've met plenty of people who doesn't have a father in their life, and they did not take the road like you took. They took the road of acceptance type stuff. Like, I didn't have no father figure in my life, so I'm going to hook on to the closest people who's getting the fastest money, fastest cars, fastest situations. Or they hooked on to different things like sports. Have you ever saw some people that just hooked on to sports that
Most
just
definitely,
put their effort into 100%, just working out every day, doing all that, and then when that stops, say if they didn't make it to the league, say if they didn't make it to college, when that stops, it look like what I got left.
Right.
And through my whole life, I use this as a distraction to get me past, to get me through. But when that distraction reveals itself, I'm like, I ain't no distraction no more. You can't use me.
Exactly.
You're like, what do I do next?
Yeah.
And that problem blows up is bigger than it would have been in the first place because
Exactly.
you've been holding on to it for so long.
Exactly.
Yeah, man, and I would say this is a very tough topic, but you know, just to go off of what we're talking about, man. I had my father in my life, man, and I definitely give him credit for being around, but he wasn't in the household. So with that being said, it's like dealing with a single parent household, and it's me, my mom and her 3 sons.
Right.
You know, and you already know a black woman, a single black woman, raising 3 black young men in America, in Texas. What that looks like, and how does that play? You know, what type of effect that has on our family, and so it definitely had a impact on our lives. Like I said, I have a relationship with my father.
Right.
I think that he's a dope individual. I think that he's a loving guy. I think that anybody that knows him would say that he's a pretty cool guy.
Right.
But as far as having him around, like as far as being tangible in the household, or just being, you know what I'm saying, he just wasn't there, and so it really played a big role on that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it took a toll on us. You could see how we grew up. You could see how, you know, it turned out to be, and how my brothers are, and then how I am.
True.
So it's a big topic right now to just be on air, just saying these things. You know what I'm saying? So
True.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is definitely needed. I feel like we have to talk about these things, even if you know somebody gonna hear this.
Exactly.
For sure. This is the
Exactly.
green light, man. We ain't having no filters, but we trying to use the filters for the sake of our brands. But you know, hey, but for real though, this is a open discussion. This is an open heart. I think that we have to be vulnerable because there's so many people that are out there that deal with the same issues, but are afraid to talk about it. But if
True.
we're afraid to talk about it, we don't have that voice for them. So
Exactly.
with that being said, this fatherless society deal, look at the stats again. Let's run through this. Let's wrap our minds around this right here. It says men commit 90% of major crimes. Men commit nearly 100% of rapes. That's crazy to me right there. We oh my gosh. And then it says men commit 95% of burglaries. Men commit 91% of offenses against the family. Offenses against the family. That could mean committing adultery. That means getting afflicted or corrupted by drugs, alcohol. all of these things, being promiscuous, being out there with all of these women, being a Rolling Stone. So all of these things play a big role. So those are offenses against the family. Getting in trouble with the law, being locked up, and growing up without that father in your house. So because he's locked up and he's behind the bars, he can't really raise you when he's behind them bars.
Exactly. And then speaking of you saying that, a lot of people understand this. This is why I want. This is one statement, one factor. Like here, I wanted to make clear.
Mm-hmm.
You got to learn how to make a choice. Mm-hmm. That choice is you can be like them, or you can be better than them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Some people make this choice that they assume that since he wasn't in my life, I'm not gonna be like him. But at the same role, you feel like since you ain't have no father in your life, you ain't have no guidance. You end up playing the same role.
Right.
Yeah.
Type stuff. So have you ever had somebody make excuses for anything that they do? Like especially going jail wise, female wise. I ain't had nobody teach me this. I ain't had nobody to do that.
Yeah.
Did you ever take the time to realize what you was doing before you did it?
Absolutely.
Before you start making excuses? Mm-hmm. It's easy to blame the next man, but it's hard to blame yourself. Mm-hmm. Talking about self-worth. Okay, yes, your father did this. If you saw your father struggling and going through things because he didn't know his self-worth, that should make it stronger on you to get more closer to God and closer to yourself to intervene with yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially with females wise. We try to open up. Sometimes we try to open up the females because we think our self-worth ain't a place. I need somebody to talk to. And so suddenly, who saw Love and Basketball?
Absolutely. I think that's a black key movie that everybody.
Exactly. You remember that night that he found out that his daddy was cheating on his mama?
Yeah.
And so he was on the bench with her trying to tell her all her stuff.
Yeah.
But like he had low self-esteem at the time. He didn't know his self-worth because he lived his self-worth through his daddy.
Yeah.
So when he found out his daddy was alive, he like, man, my mind racing. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to feel. Mm-hmm. And so he put his all in towards her.
Yeah.
She didn't ask for that. She didn't know where he was coming from at the time. At the time, he overwhelmed her because she was living her life. She just got the starting spot and just won the game. But at this time, he mad at her because I'm giving you this time, I'm giving you all this effort, and you can give me nothing back. It wasn't the fact that she wasn't giving nothing back. She had priorities. Right. He had priorities too. But it's the fact that sometimes as us females, I mean not as females, but us gentlemen, when we be lost, we go to people and try to give the wrong people our all, and like when not the wrong people, we give people our all, but when we don't get the reaction that we need, we back up.
Exactly. You know, by the way, spoiler alert for everybody who ain't seen Love and Basketball yet. He just kind of ruined it for you.
I ain't gonna lie, if you ain't seen Love and Basketball, man, what you doing with your life, man? What you doing?
On your skin. But you know, I can definitely agree with you. You know, as far as the choices that you make, you know, like I say, I only got a few conversations actually out with my father. You know, just throughout growing up and everything, and they were very short, more so kind of high buys and everything. But I spoke to my mother a lot about it and different family members and everything. I just kind of, you know, I went through the motions as far as learning kind of what happened.
Yeah.
You know, what played out as far as in their relationship. You know, whether I was, you know, the kid always thinks they're a part of the problem. You know, so that was one of the first few questions I tried to weave around growing up. But in finding out his mistakes, I kind of just lived most of my life doing the opposite.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I went by. I know a lot of people can say, you know, that you didn't have anyone around to teach you, which is very true. Which is definitely very true if you don't have anything to go by. But the only book that I really had to go by, you know, besides the Bible,
right,
and going to church and everything, was the book of my father's wrongs, pretty much. It's not a real book, by the way. It's just a great title. I mean,
coming soon.
You're coming soon.
Stores near you.
Yeah, there you go. You know, and just in realizing, you know, how my father was and the problems that he went through, the things that he dealt with when being with my mother, I always knew that I wanted to be 10 times better than that.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to succeed. I wanted to have a successful family. If I were to ever have a son, I always promised myself that I would be there. You know, because I know how much at times I actually wished I had a father in my life. You know, a father that I can go to when situations did get hard. You know, I was one of those guys that definitely did cling on to different things. That would be sports, whether that was music or whether that was me doing debate, just doing a lot of things that kind of just kept you busy. But in all honesty, you know, thinking about not having a father was something that I actually thought about quite a lot. You know what I'm saying? And not a lot of guys are going to admit that.
True.
You know, you develop a sense of pride coming up in everything. You know, you being the man of the house,
Right.
you don't need nobody. That's the type of mentality that you create.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it's a weird feeling trying to live your whole life because you kind of feel like you're in someone else's shadow because you're trying to be better than them the entire time.
Absolutely. And you know what's crazy about that? They had that episode of Fresh Prince. Y'all remember that? That's when, cause man, we was like,
Spoiler alert.
so the episode with you know,
his daddy left.
his daddy left,
Oh, yeah.
and then he had that real spill, and then
Yeah.
that's when Will Smith got on air, like literally
Yeah.
was saying what was on his heart. That wasn't scripted, and so he was really saying how he was gonna be a better father and all of this and all of that to his kids, and how he made it without him, and so he had that a huge chip on his shoulder. Like, you know what, my father wasn't there, so therefore I'm gonna outdo him in every aspect of his life.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a better man than he ever was.
Right.
And so a lot of young men, a lot of black men grow up with this. Not even just black men, but like I said, men in general grow up with this mentality of my father ain't there, my father ain't do me this way, so I turned out this way. But
Exactly.
some men hold that,
Exactly.
and they be like, you know what? I'm gonna break this generational cycle. I'm gonna break this curse.
I'm glad.
I'm going to understand that, hey, you know, my father made mistakes, but I'm not trying to make the same mistakes because I actually sat there and watched him.
Yeah.
So therefore, I am going to revamp this whole program. What you saying, Vance?
But I'm glad you said that because, bro, reminded me of that TV show.
Yeah.
A lot of people go today thinking like that, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, what's the last thing that happened at the end of that episode?
Spoiler alert.
This guy.
He stopped while he was ranting. We rant so often. We mad at them
Yeah.
for all the things they done to us, but they don't know they did.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't talk to them about this. Well, I couldn't talk to them about that. I'm living my life for you, for acceptance. For one day you can see I did better than you. Or for one day that you got a child out here that's still alive.
Yeah.
There's one thing that he said that carried on, that every man that goes through this still feels to this day. It don't matter how gratitude they get, and you can comment on this later on and say if I'm right or wrong. When they get to that higher stage in life, even if they reach success and they get a family of their own, they still look around and say, like Will said, why my daddy don't love me?
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
We struggling for the acceptance and love from our fathers, regardless. And so the thing about it is, this has said that it's 60% of suicides come from fatherless homes. 70% of juveniles in state-operated institutions come from fatherless homes. 40% of all children do not live with their biological fathers. 85% of children with behavioral problems come from fatherless homes, and 71% of children who do not finish school come from fatherless homes. We know these statistics so well.
Right.
We know these stories so well.
Right.
We live with these stories. We know people who go through these stories.
Right.
So this is a familiar setting for us. This is nothing new. These numbers is nothing new. They're incredible. They're out skyrocketing, but it's nothing new. We are used to this. We are so, we conform to it in a sense.
Right.
Yeah.
We have literally dealt with this. So look, I'm saying, man, these people, these fathers have left these households and left this chip on our shoulders. And there's this picture that I'm gonna end up posting on Instagram or YouTube when this video comes out, and it's a picture right here, and it says that it's like the domino effect. It's like a cartoon of a black family, and it shows a man walking out of the house with his bag in his hand, walking out the door, and the woman is just bitter, and she's saying that I don't need a man. This little girl over here saying, I don't want a man. This little boy, the baby, saying that I don't want to be a man. What does that tell you right there? So, Pete, this is like a little theory of mine. I don't know if nobody came up with this, but I've been using it, so therefore, it's my theory. Straight up.
Patent on it right now.
So look, it go like this, man. When we think about the self-worth of men and women, so we think about the women Let's talk about girls for a second and their father issues, right? So many women out there that deal with men issues come from either fatherless homes or daddy issues in general. So they come with abandonment issues. Exactly. And so that's what it is. So look, it's like this. The girl grows up and what's the role of her father? Her father is supposed to tell her, baby, you're beautiful. Exactly. You're worth this. Yeah. You're pretty. You're intelligent. This is how a guy's supposed to treat you. Exactly. This is how a man's supposed to treat you. This is all of these things. So if you are a young lady and you grow up, your first love initially is supposed to be your father. It's supposed to be your father.
Right.
Yeah.
So with that being said, her first love is her pops.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have him in the household, then she doesn't know that, okay, I'm this, I'm pretty like I'm supposed to be, or I'm supposed to know, this is my worth of, no, you cannot come to my house past this time. Right. Yes, you are supposed to date me. Yes, you are supposed to treat me and take me out, open up my door, do all of these things. Exactly. The key components of, what a young man's supposed to do for a young lady.
Right.
But, so say for instance, she has abandonment issues and that's what she struggles with. Now, you look at it from a different perspective of if the father was actually in the house. Mm-hmm. So if the father is actually in the house.
She got a full-time example.
But she has a full-time example, but at the same time, that might not be the case. She might still deal with abandonment issues. He might be there financially, but he might not be there emotionally, spiritually, those things. Because sometimes these men are not feeding their spirits and they feel like, well, hey, I provided for you. Right. I gave you the best life. You wanted for nothing.
Right.
But you missing the point. I needed your time. I needed your time. I didn't just need the money that you paid for my school. You paid for this. You did that. That's great. That's beautiful. Exactly. But look, I needed somebody to talk to when I was going through a dark moment in my life. So therefore, we got to discuss these things. We got to chat. You could be financially there, but are you there for me spiritually, emotionally, all of these things, even physically? Right. I need that love. I need that emotion. Can you hug me from time to time? So these young ladies grow up with abandonment issues. True. They grow up saying all men are the same. All dogs, they all dogs. You lay down with a dog, you wake up with fleas. This is a never-ending topic that you hear, right? You hear this. Right. And it's like, okay, I'm having these issues. And so every man is the same, and I end up in the same predicament. So these young ladies end up in the same predicament each and every single time. They try to confide into a young man or some dude that's running game on them because they think that that's what love is. They really understand. That's
their first love.
That's their clear depiction. So they've been running and chasing after a daddy that was never there.
Exactly.
So we dealing with some daddyless daughters. You feel me? And that's an issue with that. But let's take a pinpoint back this way. We talk about self-worth right here, but fatherlessness plays a pivotal role
in that. Yeah.
Yes, it plays a pivotal role in why self-worth is important. So let's look at it from the male perspective. So from the male perspective, he doesn't have his father.
True.
So you see what happens when males don't have their father. We just ran through the stats.
Right.
Peep this. Like when we go to these parties, we college students or young dudes, what happens at these parties. They go to the party.
Yeah.
DJ got a clear playlist for fighting and tearing the club up. Yeah. Don't know why that's a selection. Yeah. But hey, from a psychological standpoint, because the boy did study psychology. Shout outs to PB. Jumping. You know what I'm saying? But
TSU.
But look, based off of this psychological standpoint, you already know that music triggers emotion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a universal language.
It is.
So when you play a tear the club up song, Chief Keef, and you rowdy and you got a little Boosie on and all of these people, and you rowdy, you ready to fight. You got the strength or the mindset to fight 30 people in the club. Right. And then what's the MC say on the mic once the DJ got that mix going? What'd he say? Throw your hood up. Yeah. Tell them people on the other side, raise your middle fingers. Tell them, forget the other side. Then everybody in the circle, getting in the clique. You stepped on my shoes. We get into a fight. What happens after the fight? Oh, no, I got beat up. I can't take a butt whooping. Okay, let's take it to the parking lot. Pop that trunk. Next thing you know, 5 o'clock news or 10 o'clock news. So what happened over there with those students, or what happened over there with those in this neighborhood? They were at this party and this and that. Right. The next thing you know, somebody is senseless. R.I.P. We got this shirt, and what is that even? So that sounds crazy because you're like, well, people should know how to act, but it starts at home.
Right.
If we've been to several parties. We college. Well, I mean, we've been through college,
Exactly.
so therefore we know that okay, when commotion is hitting, hey, move out the way. This ain't for you.
Exactly.
So with that being
Time to
said,
go.
we have to know that it starts with the home. Now, yet I did not have my father in the house, but I knew moral value. I knew common sense.
Exactly.
Yes, even though he wasn't there, I still took that and I said, you know what? I'm going to pay attention because I know my environment.
Exactly.
I know my environment. And sometimes you become a product of your environment. But based off of, let's get back to the male's perspective of his self-worth or his value. Now, the fact that he doesn't have his father, we have those situations. We have those situations where they go to the parties, get into it, get shot up, breaking into people's houses, getting into senseless fights, getting into trouble in school. Sometimes these kids ain't even bad behavior. They just smart as heck, and they get up and they bored in class. True. So, therefore, they just don't know how to behave sometimes. So, when it comes to this, it's a very crazy thing because he doesn't know his worth. Right. He doesn't truly know his worth. So then he hears all his life what we just seen, this domino effect. Men are the same. All of them are dogs. They ain't ish. They just this and this and that. And so you hear that all your life. And as a young man, when you hear that all your life, you're like, dang, they think so much of this about me. I mind as well.
I don't even know what a dog feel like. Like if they want me to be the dog, might as well start out to be a dog.
Man, it's just a lot of people who don't know their self-worth dating other people who don't know their self-worth.
Yeah.
And they confide in each other trying to find self-worth.
And that's exactly what I was about to get to with that. So, peep this. Just like you just said, I'm going to just put it in my little term. So, what it is, okay, you grow up listening to this all your life, and he's saying, well, dang, I don't know my worth. I don't know this, and I don't know that. And he's saying, well, since I, don't know my worth, I'm going to act like these dogs. Since you call me a dog so much, I'm going to start to believe it. Yeah. You tell me, what's the number one thing a single parent tells they black son or tell their son in general? You just like your daddy.
Yep.
When family members come, oh, you look just like your father. Oh, what you just said sounds just like your daddy. If you say that one more time, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? So it's really that. It's really that. And so we grow up with this mentality. And so many times we hear people say, you just like your daddy. And we grow up with a chip on our shoulder because something that he did was a mistake. True. And we like, well, I don't want to be like him. And regardless, but in the end, we realize that we end up becoming just like him in a sense. We end up becoming just like our fathers. So with that being said, you got him over here. He don't know his worth. Her over there, she don't know her worth. Exactly. They come together. And it's a worthless situation. Worthless relationship. You feel me? So it's crazy because that's really what it is. That's really how we are. We are in a society where nobody knows their worth. Nobody believes in courting. Nobody understands, hey, fatherless societies really damage us. Like, for me, I'm going to be very vulnerable right now. Lord have mercy. I see my family about to watch this podcast, and they're going to be like, all right now. Cameron.
All right now.
Cameron. So, disclaimer, real quick, man, my name is Kam Green. This is my brand, Say No More. I'm a motivational speaker, and I literally started, and I'm inspired by speaking based off of my stories and based off of my struggles. Yep. So, with that being said, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it, man. So, my dad is a cool dude, man. I admire him. I adore my dad, actually. I love my mom, and I give both of my parents credit. So looking at my brothers, they cool people too. But because of my father not being in the house, you see that played a pivotal role too. Mm-hmm. So let's take heed to it. Let's understand what this is. My mom did the best she could, but my mom is not a man.
True.
Yeah.
She did what she knew. But we got to think about it. All of this past pain, all of this hurt, all of these things that we go through, it comes from their past and their childhood. Mm-hmm. We think about our childhood, but it comes from their childhood. They didn't have their parents probably did something to them, or that cycle is a never-ending cycle. Exactly. It's generational curses.
Exactly.
So one of my oldest brothers, my mom's firstborn. So he's a cool dude, smart. This man is intelligent. When I tell you he can be millionaire, billionaire, could be the next Bill Gates. and he has so much information, but he lacks, I would say, confidence in himself. He doesn't truly believe like he needs to. Having that direction, he's an atheist. At the same time, so this is crazy. But he's a great dude.
Right.
He has so much potential, but he doesn't believe it.
Right.
My brother, the middle child, he cool too. Like, he has a big heart. He has a genuine heart. Yeah. But at the same time, he does so much bad things because he's a product of his environment. We grew up in A-Leaf where, it's not, I wouldn't say A-Leaf is totally just all the way bad, but the neighborhood or the street, the block we came from, it's Spice Lane. You like, oh, wow, really?
The corner, yeah.
So he became a product of his environment. He let the streets raise him, even though he didn't have to go that route, but he still went that route because we were in that neighborhood. True. And sometimes that will swallow you up. You have a choice. True. But sometimes when you looking for acceptance and you looking for attention and you want somebody to do that, the streets going to give you that attention. Exactly. They're going to give you everything you looking for. In a bad way. I ain't talking about, ain't no positive. Hey, bro, there's a book, bro, go to college. Nah, you ain't got too many OGs that's out there doing that. Exactly. But I'm saying, so this is a pivotal thing of my father not being around. But I love, like I said, hey, Pops, if you looking at this, I love you. Mama, if you looking at this, I love you. But check this out. My parents were around. They were great parents. Everybody know about me. But one thing people don't know about me is that I'm not secretive, but I didn't have nobody paying attention to me. So that means I got into a lot of things that I was curious about because I just was curious about it growing up. Right. Third grade, I became grown. Third grade, look.
Talk about it.
Let's talk. I became grown. Let's really talk about it, man. So, Pete, third grade, we over there at where was we staying, man?
Whoa.
We were staying off of Spice Lane, man. I went to Landis Elementary. Landis. Let's talk about it. So in that story, man, my mom would go to work. She would be at the work. She was working at MD Anderson at the time, and she was really just busy. Like, she was gone. Like 5 o'clock in the morning, she was gone. My brothers they was in high school at the time. I'm in elementary school, so they in high school, middle school, high school, whatever. And so they would leave at like 6 a.m. Who left at the house? That little third grader. He over there. So I got myself up in the morning with the alarm clock. I ain't really like the iron, so I threw my clothes in the dryer.
I was asleep.
Look, I'm over there, man. Lock the door, walk myself to school. My mama trust me every single day to go to school. And crazy enough, I really did make that decision, and I actually went to school, and I actually stayed there for real. Some people be like,
yeah.
And I would be so pressed when I wasn't on time. So I made it to school every day on time. I think school started at 7:20, 7:30. I would have a heart attack if it's 7:10 and I'm still at the house. I would literally have a heart attack. I'd be like, no. And I used to walk to school. So for a third grader walking to school by himself, no parents, no brother, just doing that, I could have got into so much.
Yep. True.
But we had homies in the neighborhood that used to always gang bang and be like, hey, bro, it's time to get down with the set. Nah, homie. It's cool. Like, I kick it with you, but it's not that's not the case with me. Right. Straight up. So then, I get older. And I'm saying this, bro, because this is me. This is Say No More. This is where I came from. So this is where it's going. Exactly. And this is just a self-worth. This is really what we talking about right now, man, and being in the fatherless society. So age 12, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Lord have mercy. Age 12 was the very first time I was inflicted by marijuana. Now, that was the first time I ever smoked.
Okay.
Drops the mic. Anyways, with that being said, it was crazy because I never experienced it. I was just a curious kid. Being around the neighborhood, them fools going to show you something. Yeah. If you wondering what it is, they gonna show you something. True. So it was my first time doing that, and I was like, dang, let's talk about it. 13 years old, I was curious about sex, and my parents never sat me down to talk to me about sex. Now, I'm not gonna air them out because it's not their fault. Well, I don't really want to say it's their fault, but my parents didn't talk to me about sex. I felt like they just skipped that whole topic. So I was
exactly
curiosity. Now, and I know right from wrong, but at the same time, I'm a curious 13-year-old.
Exactly.
Go into that. So I end up losing my virginity. 13 years old.
Dang, man.
14 years old. we got cliques. A-Leaf is known for cliques, gang banging cliques.
man,
But you know, you rep your block, you rep your neighborhood, you rep whatever thing. So we used to get into these cliques that were gang affiliated.
Yeah.
So, but by the time I got to high school, I said, you know what? I'm kind of I experienced all of these things, but this is the life I don't want for myself. I had every right, well, not every right, but I had every opportunity to go down the wrong path and stay on the wrong path. Nobody was telling me nothing until my god brother came along. My god brother came along when I was 10, but at the time that I was doing these things, nobody knew. My brothers weren't paying attention to me.
Right.
My mama was at work. She couldn't have paid attention to me. She was at work all the time.
True.
My pops was on the east side of town. I'm on the west side wilding. You know
Right.
it's the Wild West.
Right.
You feel me? So I'm over here doing all that I wanted to do. And it was crazy because I got involved in things that normal teens get curious about it and they end up going through it.
True.
But but now looking on this and somebody listening to this podcast, and I'm pretty sure they be on Facebook and all of that stuff, they can be like, I would have told him up. And like, that's cool. Like, my parents did not play that. Let's be real. Like, my parents raised me correctly.
Exactly.
I just chose a different route because I was curious and nobody talked to me about these things.
Right.
I had to experience them on my own. Then I made a conscious decision. Like I said, third grade, I got grown. So therefore, once I got older, I said, you know what? I don't want this life. I see what it's doing to my brothers. I see what it's going with this. I don't want that life for me. My god brother interjected and he came in and he said, hey, bro, you don't have to do all of that stuff. I'm going to take you under my wing. So when my mom be like, man, why are you so close to your god brother versus your real brothers? I'm like, because he actually listened at a time where it was dark in my life.
He needed that help.
I needed that guidance. And so we talking about fatherless society. Sometimes a father figure might not come in the father of your, might not come in the form of your biological.
Right.
God might send you somebody that's a father figure to you that might not even be your father.
True.
Man, yeah.
So that's the thing, man. You look, even though, hey, I might not have my biological father in the household, but look at this. I have my heavenly father watching over me.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a big role. And so, man,
Something powerful like that. That's amazing. That made me bring up like a story for like a time when I was little. Convenient third grade.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in third grade and I knew.
Man, I
like
got a third grade one too. Go ahead. Well, third grade is a pivotal year for the kids if y'all don't know that. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
oh, let me
School supplies are
disclaimer.
expensive.
Let me say this before you get into that story, man. Hold on, let me. Okay, here we go. So before you get into that story, man. Third grade. So when I go and speak at these schools, right, I share this statistic with them. And this statistic is based off of third graders. They say if, and I heard this, I think my freshman year in college. It says if your child does not have it together by the third grade, start building them a prison cell.
Yeah.
I
heard that in third grade.
Yeah, no, and we heard that in third freshman year in college and third grade. We hearing these statistics. So therefore, if your child doesn't have it together by the third grade, start building them a prison cell. But we gonna get back to your third grade story. So go ahead, man.
Man, so I always been told that I'm a unique one, that I got a good head on my shoulder. 'Cause I was raised up in the church. Like my mama didn't play that. Even if my daddy didn't go, me and my sister went to church every Sunday.
Absolutely.
Choir, singing, acting in the little
You can sing.
plays, everything. I mean, choir, you know what I'm saying?
Let's talk
Go
about
ahead.
it. Let's talk about it. we grown men now, man.
True.
We adults.
Go ahead.
Let me hear that, man. He probably ain't got them vocals.
Man,
you know, when
no.
you was a kid.
You know what I'm saying?
You was a kid. You
yeah.
can. You know, I ain't gonna get
You feel me?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah,
But,
man. Yeah, go ahead.
When I was in school, man, I always been the kid that I was just abnormal. 'Cause I always been tall. So when I was 6'something in middle school. When I came to high school, now I'm 6'5". So man, when I'm in class, this is new dude in class, man. I don't know, God just be working in mysterious ways. So dude in class sitting right next to me, you know, we got to partner up and all that. So I'm partnering up with him, trying to see what he want to do about this paper. I think it was like a drawing assignment or something like that. He was like antisocial. He wasn't talking. He was new to the class. And so I'm like, okay. So she moved me because she like, he ain't talking. I'm like, I'm cool. Like, I know people got to get to know different people before they open up. So she moved me away from him and all that. So she had him by himself. She tried to talk to him off and on. He wasn't having none of that. So I'm still going on with my work. And lunchtime came. We ate. I don't know where he went, but I ate, chill, went back to class. I went back to class, still doing work. It's coming down to the end of the day, and I just see him walk out of class. So I'm like, okay. But like something in my mind told me, go see what's wrong. I'm in 3rd grade. What I'm doing checking on somebody else. I can't even check on myself.
Right.
But I go outside anyway. I walk out the class and like, hey man, like what's up? What's going on? She like, man, I feel uncomfortable here because it's not like my last school. Like most of my friends at my last school, and me and my mother just moved into town, and I feel like I'm not connected to anybody like that. I don't feel like making no new people, so I can get hurt again. And I said, bro, I've been at this school for a little minute, and I know you don't know me like this, but hey, we can be cool, man. I can tell you, if you don't got no friend, you got a friend today. And so my daddy used to give me candy every morning, so it was like a peppermint. So I still had a peppermint in my hand. And so I gave it to him. I said, bro, come on, man. Come sit next to me. We get our work done. Everything will be all right. Everything will be cool. Not knowing that God just like was guiding me at a small age.
Yeah.
Like that. So I bring him inside the class. I bring him inside the class. And we sit next to each other and we start doing our work. Next thing I know, the teacher started crying. I'm like, what you crying for? I'm like, what's wrong with her? Like, what's she emotion? Like, somebody killed her cat or dog or something? Like, in a young age, I'm like, well, why she crying? Like, I didn't do nothing. I feel like, from me standpoint, I'm small. Like, I feel like I didn't do nothing type stuff. So guess what? Man, she called my daddy. And so, you know, when you at a young age, somebody call your daddy, you did something wrong. So I'm like, I'm in here. I'm trying to negotiate with her. I'm like, ma'am, I ain't did my work today. What did I do wrong? Like, why you trying to get me in trouble for? And so he coming out, he already know. If he get called, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
So he coming out, what happened? What's wrong? I said, man, daddy, I don't do nothing before she talk. I ain't do nothing. What's going on? She lying. She a liar. She a liar. Her wig ain't real. I don't know what's going on.
She lying.
I'm snitching on everything. And so she like, calm down. She was like, your son is a blessing. I never forget this. She like, your son is a blessing. And she told him exactly what I did today, and I felt like, don't everybody do that? Like, don't everybody have that kindness in their heart?
Yeah.
At a young age, I felt like everybody liked that. Like, I didn't know that the world was this wicked in so many ways type stuff that we needed that much uplifting. And like, from a young age, I knew from then, that standpoint, I used to keep that story in my head. I knew I was destined to help people.
Yeah.
I feel you.
I knew I was destined to have my hand out to bring people up.
Absolutely.
And seeing people down in every situation, I feel like every room I step in, I can breathe a love doctor. Not because of me.
Let's talk about it.
Because how I can help you. And if I can bring you closer to the word, and I can bring you closer to your society, being and your acknowledgement till society, I'm helping you any type of way. Even if that's with your self-worth. I'm a type of person, I ain't gonna lie, y'all think the love doctor all like gonna keep things sweet and I'm gonna be on your side. I'm gonna tell you the truth. If you need this to work on, it's time for you to stop making distractions and excuses and work on it. Just like in today's society, like a lot of fathers not in kids' homes because they feel like my daddy wasn't there.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to be a father. But the thing is, nobody knows how to be a father until they have a child.
Yeah. Well, you know, but at the same time, sometimes that affects you as a father too. Sometimes when you start having kids,
right?
Because you got to think about it. Most of these people who are, you know, in a fatherless society or, you know, dealing with daddy issues, they had a father too.
Yeah.
You know, and they daddy was saying the same thing, and then they end up having a child, and they still cutting up. True. So then they, you know, become a father, and they still cutting up. So sometimes they don't teach you, you know, they don't teach you all of those things.
Right.
And so that's the biggest thing. Like, man, some men really don't grow up.
True.
Some men will have a child and still not realize, like, hey, yo, bro, your life is important.
True.
For you to be around for them. You have to wake up. You have to be the example. Bro, if your son see you sagging, bro, what do you think he's going to be doing?
Exactly.
If you don't know how to do these things, man, then what you think he's going to be doing, man?
Right.
You don't know how to treat his mother. What do you think he's going to do to women?
Right.
Like, you calling his mother all out her name. So what do you think your son is going to do once he sees how disrespectful you were. And guess what? Because you were ugly to his mother is going to plant in his head, your daddy ain't nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you just like him.
You just like
We just talked about this whole theory, but you are just like him. So, man, I wanna come to a conclusion. I want to understand, like, we know the issue is.
Yeah.
We know what the issue is. How do we come up with a solution? But before we come up with that solution, before we close this whole thing out, I wanted to share something with y'all. So, in the same book that I shared all of them stats and craziness and all of that stuff, man, it goes on to say in this thing as well, man. It says that that at the age of 6 is when a child needs their a specific parent the most. So throughout their childhood, you already know that they need their parents, you know, the most, of course.
Yeah.
So from an infant to like 5 years of age, they need that mother. They need that nurturing. They need all of those things. Now, you need your father, of course, but that's the most time that you see the mothers active, because women are more patient than men. They you know, can deal with children in that aspect.
Shout out to all the mothers.
True.
Shout out to all the
Hey, round of applause to all the single mothers out there.
We got he
Thank you,
clapping
Mom.
on the mic.
I'm clapping
Yeah.
in the mic.
I love you,
That's not
Mama.
important.
I love you.
promise you.
I love you, mama, too.
I appreciate you. I adore you. You are
Most
my
definitely
rock.
so.
You are everything to me. So
Yes,
I
ma'am.
appreciate you on
Everything.
This is a Mother's Day thing. Let me
Yeah,
stop,
it's
man.
Mother's Day thing now.
My best friend and
hey,
everything.
but let's not bash the fathers. Even though this is a fatherless society, there is some good fathers
Fathers
out there.
out there.
There is some good men out there
that's
that
true.
still,
There is.
you know, even if they didn't birth you, you know, there's still some good fathers. So look, peep this. Lord, I lost my train of thought, but it's all good. We're gonna bring it back to this. So look, at the age of 6, like I said, I mean, well, but from infant to 5 years of age, you need your mother. But from 6 to 8, you need your father.
Yeah.
Now, this is a pivotal road. Now, this is something that was like threw me off all the way. They say at the age of 6 is when your child views you or views the father as his idea of who God is. Not saying that is God, but saying that's the idea of who God is. At the age of 6, your father looks at you. I mean, when you look at your father, like, that's your idea of who God is. So, if, you know, your father is, you know, sweet, a sweet person, you think God is sweet. You think if he's mean and rude and abusive and all of these things, you think that's your depiction of what God is. Right. Now, some people will say, well, I didn't grow up with my father, and well, I turned out just all right without my father and all of these things, but you still hurt. You see how much passion you got, you know how much defensiveness you got in there. So, you know, it's like, even if you made it this far without your father, I know you're not making excuses for yourself, and you shouldn't make excuses for yourself. You know, just because your father wasn't around, or just because of the things that happen in your life, you know, happened the way it happened, bro. Like,
It's not an excuse.
You know, it's not an excuse. Like, bro, you know, my dad wasn't there, so therefore I got into all of these things. And so I'm not saying that. So, I mean, I experienced those things, and I was a victim at first, but at the same time, I had to realize, look, my dad still loved me.
Right.
Even though he's not in my house, so he still loved me. My mama did the best she could.
Right.
I made those decisions.
True.
So, therefore, that's what it is.
Man, that's real, man. Most definitely, because you can't make up these excuses and blame everything else in the world, man.
Mm-hmm.
Be the change that you want.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If anything, man, we don't have enough role models to look up to, man. Some of the most influential men in my life did not birth me.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? I can remember back to my third grade teacher,
These
my
third
coach,
grade teachers,
my
man.
these third grade teachers, man, are cold. My third grade teacher, man, my coach in middle school, man. It's always the football and basketball coaches, man, that always try to be there as well too, man. I don't know if they want you to win or win at life. It's one of the two. But man, you have to be that change and break that cycle at some point. Otherwise, it's just gonna keep on happening.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep on having hurt men and hurt women who are growing up without parents in the home, and then we end up hurting each other. Then you end up hurting your kids, and it's just gonna keep on cycling on and on and on. And if you really want to change that and complain so much, and you want to put in all this passion into playing football, put all this passion into going into the club, put all this passion into doing everything else except bettering yourself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nah.
See, it's working through me right now.
Let's talk about it, man.
Let's talk about it. No, really, let's talk about it, man. You need to make a difference.
Yeah.
That's what you're here on this planet to do, is to make a difference. Be a leader. Stop being a follower. Stop following your homeboy. Stop following Pookie down the street who out there slinging rocks on the freeway. What you need to do, get up, go to school, get a job, get your life together, follow your dreams, treat your woman like a woman, treat your son like your son and your daughter like your daughter. Tell your daughter that she's beautiful. Tell your son that he is important, that he matters in this world, that he can be a president one day, that he can be a leader. We need people out here to make a difference in our country in the first place.
Yes, sir.
Don't be up here complaining about the government if we ain't got no black people in it because we won't even go to school to be in it.
That boy preaching right now, man.
You get what I'm saying? Don't be complaining because we don't own no businesses when you don't even teach your son how to hold on to money because they want to spend it on getting drunk.
Let's talk about
Spend it on starting a party.
Yeah. Let's talk about it.
How about you spend it on going to school?
Let's talk about
Better
it.
yourself. Getting a degree.
Right.
Following your dreams. Don't tell your son that your dream is stupid. And I'm not even trying to diss my dad right now. But I remember when you told me when my music wasn't good.
Whew.
I'm going to tell you right now, bro. I'm cold.
Hey, hold up, man.
Deal with it. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
You know what I'm saying? So don't diss your kids. Don't doubt your kids. Whatever example that you set, whether you are there or not. Whatever you leave for them to see, that's the kid that you're going to raise.
Right.
Either he going to spend his whole life chasing a shadow or being in it.
Right.
Trying to figure out who he is.
Yeah.
So encourage your kids, man.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing about that, and I'm going to go, because Love Doctor, we need your take real quick before we close it out. But the beautiful thing about that is, man, even when people don't grow up with fathers or whatever the case might be, they still that's God's purpose right there.
True.
Like sometimes like it's meant for you not to have your father in the house. Do you think we would be in the same position or the same predicament that we are in right now had we had our fathers? And that it would have been a little bit different. I don't know if I would be doing motivational speaking if it wasn't for all my obstacles.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Therefore,
That's true.
that's a blessing within itself.
It's a sad pro.
Yeah, it's sad, but hey, it happened. So, Love Doctor, give us your take real quick so we can close it out.
Make it smooth.
They always say God give his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers.
Yeah.
I was just telling Cam in the car that a lot of people these days. Y'all ready for this?
I'm ready for it.
A lot of people these days have a soul for a leader, but have a heart as a follower.
Following.
You was born in this world to be a leader. But when your heart came to play, it was led to follow.
Yeah.
I got one more story for you. I just brought up to my play. I ain't gonna lie. I was one of them people. I'm not gonna lie to you. That wanted to seek attention, that didn't know my way during life. So it was a time where I was in middle school and I wasn't selling drugs or nothing like that. But I used to hang around her. Just because I thought I was cool. And we all was the tall guys in the school and things like that.
Made you feel like you belong to something.
Yeah, but I ain't never smoke. I ain't never do drugs, nothing like that. I was just around her.
Yeah.
Just because they had the fly girls, they had the fly honeys and all that. But my dad used to pick me up from school, but they used to walk home. Because they didn't have nobody to pick them up or nobody to ask them are they okay, anything like that.
Right.
So I'm looking at it, I'm feeding out there. I'm like, I'm trying to see why they act the way they act and things like that. And so one time it's a teacher that always used to see me with them and used to be like, hey, y'all stay right here. I need you to leave. I'm like, what you talking about? We just walking. Sometimes we don't be doing nothing. We just be walking. He's like, I don't even want you around them at all. If I see you again, next time I see you, I'm calling your father. I'm like, bro, this man tripping. Like, why he always, we snitching for? Like, I ain't really snitching. I'm just walking with them. But didn't know that. Y'all know positive vibe versus a negative vibe. What that equal? A negative vibe. So even if I'm a positive guy around negative people, them negative attentions will come on to me.
Didn't they teach us that like in physics or something?
Yeah.
So man, I'm walking around in the hallway with them. Again, another day, I'm not listening to what he got to say. I feel like they my road dogs. I feel like they my homies type stuff. But I didn't know they was going through stuff through after school. They got into a fight with a few people, and the police looking for them. And so I'm walking in the hallway with them. Next thing I know is the dude see me from a long shot down the hallway. We tall, so he see me from a long shot down the hallway. He calling my name. I'll duck off. Next thing you know, I'm in class. I find a way. My class really next door to his class, so I find a way to get in the class, put my hoodie on. And teacher like, have you made the class yet? He's like, no, I ain't made the class yet. And then she looked around. She like, hold on, that's him right there. He came to me. Hey, come to my room. Come to my room. Okay, come to my room. So I go to his room and all. He called my daddy. I'm like, bro, I didn't even do nothing. Like I'm just hanging with him. I'm not doing nothing with him. Anything they have to do that ain't got nothing to do with me, type stuff. So he called my daddy. My daddy come up there. Next thing you know, my daddy come in the hallway and talking to me and like, why you with these people and all that. Next thing I know, the police come down the hall and arrest everybody that I've been hanging with. And said, if that man did not call me, you'll be arrested too for just associating with them.
It's important.
See, God sent his angels in weird situations just to come save you, but also to leave you that point that
could have been you.
That could have been you.
Could have been you. Hey.
So what I'm saying is, from the hearts and souls out there, God hurts you to build you up.
The muscle effect.
Exactly. God never hurts you to keep you down. He will never put anything in your life that you couldn't handle. It's just that you have to prepare your mind, body, and soul.
Can I interject real quick?
Yes, sir.
But I heard that my whole life. They say that, God wouldn't give you that.
Yeah.
But what if God would? What if God would give you something so powerful that you can't handle, but it takes him to get through it?
True.
Preach.
Hey.
True.
Let's talk about it, man.
Let's talk about it.
So we are broken people. All of us are broken people. Let's look at the Apostle Paul.
Yeah.
He was Saul. Killing off Christians, killing off believers, was broken inside, was doing all these things, going to prison. God changed his name to Paul, reformed. Now he writing pretty much majority of the New Testament. He uses broken people. So, yes, sometimes we get stuff that we can't bear. It's not for us to bear because that's the reason why we have a God.
True.
That's why there's a higher deity that's up there that's really looking like, look, you can't get through it. I want you to get through it on your own. You can't.
Exactly.
I dare you to get. I dare you to try to. Man, I heard this. There was one quote. They said that if you want to make God laugh, tell him what you gonna do. Tell him your plans.
Exactly.
How you gonna,
Exactly.
If you want to make God laugh, tell him what you gonna do. Tell him your plans, bro. So therefore, that's just my interjection, real quick.
Let me interject as well.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
We all interjecting.
Go ahead.
Interjection.
Interjection section. The interjection section, you guys. Let me stop, man.
It's real quick, man. Basically, for an example, I think I made this point last time. If you ask God to make you stronger,
yeah,
would you really appreciate it if just one day you woke up and you were just magically stronger? You know what I'm saying? Would you really appreciate it? I believe when we ask God to make us stronger, to make us smarter, or to quicken us in a situation or whatever, he doesn't just magically do it for you. He gives you an opportunity to be stronger.
Exactly.
He gives you an opportunity to have more faith or to make better decisions, to become a better version of yourself. So you can actually appreciate, that kind of little short rags to riches version of whatever it is that you're trying to do.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? So you don't actually go back to your former self so that you can't keep on going higher and higher and higher and stay at those levels and become stronger.
Right.
Through that process. That was my quick interjection, man.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it makes sense. God's going to give you an opportunity
True.
to be better in those things in life that you pray about.
Yeah.
And one thing, like Kam said, if we ask God for something,
be prepared.
Be prepared.
Watch what you ask. Be prepared.
Be descriptive.
Because, man,
watch what you pray for.
Exactly. All the blessings that we need and that we think we need and think we want type stuff, God has a better purpose for us. He might have our hand over our eyes and let us walk on 290. But I bet you we won't get hit. Because him in front of us at all angles, him on our side, him as our leader, him as our provider.
What is turning church?
Wait, this it kind of did, but like, what I'm trying to tell you is
fatherless society, man. That's what we living in, but man, it's a blessing.
It is a blessing.
It's a blessing. All right, man. Real quick, I'm gonna give y'all 30-second spiel, man. I know we running out of time, y'all, and I apologize for that. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It is.
But if y'all liking what y'all hear, man, part 2 coming soon. Tune in next week. We got so much content. We got so much things that we have to discuss.
Yes, sir.
I think the next topic, I don't even want to reveal it, man.
Not even gonna reveal
hey,
it.
look,
Don't do it.
Look, tune in next week. But check this out, man. I want to give y'all a 30-second spiel and let them know how they can reach out on social media. We're gonna start with the Sid Says So guy right here, real quick. So go ahead, man. Let them know.
How you doing again, guys? My name is Sidney A. Odom. I'm a professional actor here in Houston, Texas. It says Sid Said So because I have a YouTube channel. I think it's kind of funny. It's Sid Said So, ends with a H. Doesn't stand for Houston. It's just because someone already took the name beforehand. Man, y'all can reach me on Instagram, the Sidney Odom. It's all together, SIDNEYODOM, the Sidney Odom. And Facebook, everything is the same, man. What I want to say today again, God is going to give you an opportunity to be stronger. Be a role model in somebody's life. Make a difference, and you can change the world. It starts with the small steps.
Yeah.
There you go, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing live once again, Levanson Atkinson, a.k.a. The Love Doctor, is in the building. If you want to find me, I have motivational speeches, and my YouTube channel is The Love Doctor, the letter D, LOVEDR. And if you want to follow me on the ground where I do wake-ups, just motivational speeches every day, it is the letter D _LOVEDR.
Why it sound like he got dreads?
He sound like LL Cool J. Licking his lips and stuff.
You know, everybody, this is smooth jazz.
The quiet storm. Hey, man, hold up. It's Kam Green, Mr. Say No More. And, so you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, at Kam Green, Kam, green like the color, SNM, which stands for Say No More. That's the brand. That's what we pushing right now. And this is something that we have to give y'all. Y'all looking forward to it. And hit me up on YouTube as well. YouTube is Say No More by Kam Green. Y'all can find some videos on there trying to do some motivational speaking, man. We over here with the DBAs and working on the LLCs and T-shirts. We pushing it, man. We were young individuals. Real quick before I close it all the way out, just tell them how old you are. Real quick.
Man, I'm 21, man. October 28, 22, so don't be afraid to send us some money.
Oh, God. All right.
23, cancer in the building, you know what I'm saying? Super lover, you know what I'm saying?
Super lover, man. And yes, and myself, I am 23 as well. And I just wanted to highlight that because we are young individuals that are sharing knowledge with y'all. That's just letting y'all know, like, hey, we got wisdom too, and it needs to be heard. And so we got some topics, and we got some powerful, heavy-hitting topics. And if you like what you hear, man, please check us out, man. Reach out to us and give us that feedback. We need that.
Yes,
but
sir.
I wanted to close it out because we talked about fatherless societies. We talked about the issues, but we never talked about the solution. So you was talking about influence, and you was talking about in middle school how, you know, you could have went down the wrong path. But in Matthew, it talks about if your hand causes you to sin, cut it off. If your eye causes you to, lust, gouge it out. For it's better for one part of your body to go to hell than for your whole entire body to enter the, internal gates into eternal damnation. You feel me? So it talked about that. So what I want to say is there's a difference. You have a choice. Right. You have a choice, and what it is either you're going to be influenced by others or you're going to be the influencer.
True.
So therefore, you have to wonder and understand. You understand, like your group of friends is that body.
Right.
If something in that body is tripping, so say for instance, your homeboys want to do the wrong path, want to go down the wrong path, and all of those things. That's that hand. You want to cut that off.
Cut it off.
Hey, you got a girlfriend, but your homeboy's telling you go out and get these other girls. That's your eye causing you to lust. Gouge it out.
You need to cut it.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what it really is. So when you cut that body off, you influence. And so another thing, I want to come up with a solution. This is the number one solution, and, man, we're going to close it out. Promise you. The solution is we have to implement God. We have to be the change we want to see. We have to literally go and be imitators of Christ. We have to. That's the only way we can break these cycles. That's the only way we can break these generational curses.
No
we
more
have to be the
excuses.
example. So many people are believers or Christians and all of these things, and they say all of these things, but what's the number one thing they do? They are hypocrites.
Hypocrites.
Then we got hypocristians.
That's another topic.
Oh, that's another topic, man. We're going to get into that one day. Hey, man, y'all got to keep staying tuned. We got fire for y'all. But see, look. So, yeah, there it is. We have to be the examples. We have to feed our spirits. We have to treat these women correctly. We have to love on these women. We got to show them that we honor them. We have to break these cycles of, hey, we used to hang out with these people. We ain't there no more.
Right.
We don't have to be that.
Right.
We don't have to be that at all. So, man, I'm just coming to y'all live and direct, man. This is Sid Says So, Mr. Love, Dr. LaVanson Atkins himself. You know what I'm saying? And this is Kam Green, and this is Kam's Green Light. We signing off. Love y'all. Peace.
All right.
Dig.